What's your reaction to Dak's comments and also the fact that he was so open about his struggle?
Well, first of all, I appreciate his openness because I think in this day and age, especially, the more we learn, the better we are and the more informed we are. And as a result of it, you realize the power that you have to truly, truly help other people. We have to remember that this story resonated yesterday because yesterday was National Suicide Prevention Day. It was National Suicide Prevention Day. And one of the leading causes of suicide is depression. And one of the biggest reasons that you find yourself not being able to deal with depression, according to all the research and what have you, is the fact that those who are depressed don't feel like they have much of an outlet. And I'll get a bit personal by saying this. There were 2 times in my life I've never contemplated suicide. I've never been that guy. But I will tell you this. There were 2 times in my life, Max, Charlie, where if I had dropped dead, if I had gotten in a car accident, if I had somehow, some way lost my life, I would not have cared. The one time was when I lost my brother Basil to a car accident. He died in a car accident in 1992 in Waco, Texas. And I was incredibly, incredibly devastated. And I remember probably the most irresponsible thing I've ever done in my life was that I got in my car and I was speeding down a literally main street in the middle of the night in High Point, North Carolina, going about 90 to 100 miles an hour, and I ran through like 7 straight red lights. I don't know how I didn't get pulled over by the cops. I don't know how I didn't cause an accident. Thank God I didn't hurt anybody. I didn't hurt myself, and I certainly thank God I didn't hurt anybody else. But I just wanted to die. I really did when I lost my brother because that's how devastated I was. The other time was when my mother died. And when my mother died and, game 1, the day of game 1 of 2017 NBA Finals, I cannot speak to the level of devastation that I had. And there was at least a year, damn near almost 2 years, where there was not a single day that went by that I did not cry. And I'm not talking about shedding a tear. I mean cry, because I was just so depressed and so distraught that the greatest woman and the greatest human being that I've ever known was gone from my life. And especially being single and not married, one of the things that you wake up thinking about is that the person who loved you most and loved you so unconditionally is gone forever. And you sat back wondering about your life moving forward and how in God's name was I going to go on without her. But the reason why I was able to overcome it was because of the great sisters that I have, Linda, Arlen, Abigail, Carmen, knowing that we were all in it together. I wasn't alone. Knowing that I had nieces and nephews, 13 of them, I wasn't in it alone. Knowing that I'm a dad with 2 beautiful daughters to live for and to support and what have you. But the fact that I had that support base is what enabled me to overcome the level of depression. And so, Dak Prescott might choose to articulate and publicize his points of view, but ultimately what he was really speaking of was the need to speak out, because folks who speak out basically are saying there was assistance that I had. And we want you to know, for those of you out there who are suffering from this, that there is assistance for you as well. There's a greater message to be absorbed and interpreted from all of it. It's something that we can't ignore. And I think in Dak Prescott's case, he truly, truly saw that. And that's why he felt the need to articulate what he had articulated. And for that, I have nothing but the greatest respect and appreciation about him and for him over that, because clearly by articulating and disseminating that message, he was not thinking about himself. He wasn't just publicizing his business because he was asked a question. He was publicizing it because he thought it would be of service to others. And that's the greatest thing that we can do as human beings and as God's children. Be of service to others.
I also lost a brother, Stephen A., my late great brother Sam, who was a bona fide genius and my best friend, and was devastated and totally devastated by it. So I echo many of the sentiments you said in terms of your reaction, not caring about your own life after that for a while. And when Dak Prescott talks about anxiety, depression people understand, but anxiety, what's that about? I can tell you from experience not only do you get depressed, but you do get anxious, as though the bad thing, which has already happened, the worst thing in the world, as though the bad thing is about to happen. I don't know why that is, but I've talked to others who've experienced similar things, and they also talk about that. So I understand the depression, I understand the anxiety, and my heart goes out to Dak Prescott, and you're part of a club that no one wants to be a member of. But you do, I can speak from experience, at least I did, take some solace in the community of people like you. At least you know others know what you're going through. They've already experienced it. I want to talk about how this may affect Dak and his ability to lead. First of all, I think about Zach Greinke, the pitcher who came up with the Royals way back when and was considered a prodigy at such a young age and had some good times and some bad times. It came out he had a social anxiety disorder. And many people at the time thought that's a bad thing. You're afraid to perform in front of people. How you write this guy off? You know, he's never going to be able to have a great major league career. Zach Greinke's probably heading for the Hall of Fame at this point. And he's pitched really amazingly well for what is it now, 15 plus years, and including in the playoffs at times. So the idea that someone can't experience that anxiety and can't perform at that point is not true. More important to me, though, is the idea that he's sharing this with people. Because for those who would say that it affects his ability to lead, in fact, I think quite the opposite. Showing that kind of vulnerability enhances leadership ability because we are all human. And the idea that you must look at your leader, including on a football team, anywhere, as this kind of perfect person. We all know in reality that perfection does not exist in human beings. And in fact, the strength to share vulnerability is an important quality, I believe, in real leadership.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.